Remember to be determined, persistent, excited, joyful, flexible, and inspired. When you're living your life in these divine ways, you're getting help from our higher power. Live life right. Live in life right. Enjoy life. All of it. Live life in joy. And know that everything happens for a reason. Know that you are good enough to be whatever you want to be. And know that you are being what you're here to be every day of your life. Cracking the Millionaire Code 26. Residual philanthropy continued. Giving your way to wealth. Here's the quotes around the margins of these pages I'm on right now, 266 and 267. What is your religion? Simple kindness, said the Dalai Lama. That's a good religion. The system might be breaking down, but something else is breaking through, said Mark Victor Hansen. Intuition is what you know before you think, said John Assaraf. He's a pretty good one, John Assaraf. I think my friend knows that guy. Did something in a book with him. Start edifying the flowers. Stop pointing out the weeds. Said Dennis Waitley. Okay, I have to look up the word edify right now. Do you know what the word edify means? Stop. How's it go? Start edifying the flowers. So I guess it means appreciate. Let's see. Edify, meaning. Oh. Screenshot. I looked up edify. Edify means instruct or improve someone morally or intellectually. Someone is in parentheses. So I guess you can instruct and improve a flower. Educate, instruct, teach, school, tutor, coach, train, guide, enlighten, inform, cultivate, develop, inculcate, indoctrinate, improve, better, uplift, elevate. Okay. Do that with flowers. Edify. Start edifying the flowers. Stop pointing out the weeds, said Dennis Waitley. Continued persistence overcomes almost all resistance. It's upside down and in a light font, okay? Continued persistence overcomes almost all resistance. Continued persistence overcomes almost all resistance, said Mark Victor Hansen. Action plus faith cures fear, Johnny Trott. 80% of what holds you back is found inside you. Only 20% of what limits you exists outside you, says Brian Tracy. Seems to be another application of the Pareto principle, or the 80-20 rule. If you'd like to look that up, that's a great one. The Pareto principle, or the 80-20 rule. If you want to look that up and you don't know what it means really, then it'll help you a lot. It'll help you a lot if you embrace it. Okay? Let me read this one again. 80% of what holds you back is found inside you. Only 20% of what limits you exists outside you, said Brian Tracy. He's got a lot of good stuff. I read a bunch of his books. Brian Tracy. What miracle is God fashioning out of this misfortune, said Robert G. Allen. What is your religion? Oh, I already read this. What is it again? What did Dalai Lama say in response to that question? What is your religion? What did the Dalai Lama say? Simple kindness. It's worth reading again. Okay. The residual philanthropy models is in green letters, all in capital letters, and centered. The residual philanthropy models. Enlightened residual philanthropy comes from enlightened wealth builders. Why give once when you can give continuously? We're here to help give you a new, bigger, more generous perspective and possibility. The flow of abundance is infinite. And you must turn it on with giving. You can't take a breath until you give one. Here are a few philanthropic models you can use to enlighten your enterprise. Model 1, just ask. Green font. Model 1 and centered. Model 1, just ask. Every month, we authors do dozens of radio quote phoners. Radio shows on stations all over the country that we can conduct right from our home offices. Our publicist sets up all these radio interviews, usually one day a month. One day Mark Victor Hansen, one of the authors of this book, was doing his first interview with a station in Kansas City. The night before, he had watched the TV news footage of a tornado that vacuumed up 367 Kansas City homes. And they stuck in here a puzzle with a bunch of lines and dots on it in different ways. If you want to try to figure out what that means, it's puzzle number 97 on page 266. The radio station owner began the call by saying, quote, "It's bad. My tower was down and 58 farmers came out with their chains, ropes, tow trucks, and tractors to straighten it up. Mark, you're the first one to go on air, and you'd better have some good chicken soup stories, because my listeners are hurting real bad. Mark said, we've got 7,700 stories, and I know 6 great tornado stories that will inspire, uplift, and give renewed hope to your listeners. The station owner said, I've got to tell you what's happening here locally. I've got 6 people sleeping on the floor at the radio station. No one has died, but their homes are gone, their cars are gone, and their trucks are gone. We've got 2,000 folks sleeping on the floor in a mall next door. We've got nowhere to put them. The tornado knocked out both the Red Cross and Goodwill. Our people need clothes, bedding, and blood. Mark spent the rest of the interview giving hope and encouragement to the listeners. Here's a whole bunch of letters and another puzzle you can try to decipher next to blank number 98 on page 267. The next scheduled radio talk show of the day was scheduled with a station in Seattle. It was a call-in show when the host asked, quote, do you have any new chicken soup stories? Mark told him about what had just happened in Kansas City. Mark asked people to call and give blood, clothes, prayers, and whatever help they could to Kansas City. What happened next amazed him. The station's 12 phone lines lit up like a Christmas tree. The first caller said, I have a Fleetwood RV, and I'm going to drive right now to Kansas. Just give me the station owner's phone number. Those 6 people sleeping on his floor will have a place to sleep in my vehicle until they sort things out. End quote. The next 12 callers all donated the use of their RVs, and they were on their way to Kansas too. Americans love to give. All you have to do is ask. Model 2. Sell yourself. Norman Lear charged all of his friends and colleagues $2,000 each for the privilege of coming to his 80th birthday party. His friends could easily afford the extravagant fee and raised $2 million for charity. Fundraisers like this happen in hundreds of cities every single day of the year. When's your next birthday party? Model 3. Partner with a charity. And before I read that, I'm going to read the quotes around the margins of these 2 pages. If you're overstressed, it's because you're under-asked, said Mark Victor Hansen. Under-asked. It's because you're under-asked. You want people to ask you more. I'm trying to figure this out. Why would you want people to ask you more? Why would you want people to ask you? What would you want people to ask you more? Why? What would you want people to ask you more? How are you? How can I help you? What's right with you? Personally, I don't like it when people ask me what's wrong, because I don't want to focus on what's wrong. I want to focus on what's going right. How can I help you is always a good question. How can we improve this? I don't want to hear why this is not going to work. I want to hear how we can make it work. Be encouraging, not discouraging. Be encouraging. Encourage. Encouraging people Ask the right questions. Next quote. If you want something done, take it to a busy person. Yes, said Mario Simic, S-I-M-I-C. I think a whole bunch of other people said that too, because it seems a little oxymoronic. However, it's the opposite of oxymoronic, because busy people get stuff done. Busy people get stuff done. They don't have time to do it. Yes, they do, because busy people get stuff done. That's why you ask someone who's busy to get your stuff done, because busy people get stuff done, period. It's good to be busy. Next quote. If you're a chip shot away from everything you've ever wanted. Okay, no if. It just says you're a chip shot away from everything you've ever wanted, said Robert G. Allen. 3 feet from the gold. You're always 3 feet from the gold. Most people give up when they're almost there. Because when you're almost there is when it's the toughest. Keep going. Keep going. Next quote. You and I aren't remembered for what we acquire. But for what we contribute. We're not remembered for what we acquire, we're remembered for what we contribute, said Mark Victor Hansen. Very true. I want to let all of the string out of my kite. I want to let all the string out of my kite, said Reverend Sandra Heron. Fly high. Facts go in our brains. Stories go in our hearts, said Sandra Bloch, B-L-O-C-H. Be a good storyteller. You want people to like you? Be a good storyteller. Practice your stories. Look in the mirror and practice your stories. Have good stories. Good endings. Good morals. Model 3. Partner with a charity. When Mark was 16, the Beatles came to America and appeared on the Ed Sullivan Show. They wowed his soul. Mark called his best friend, Gary Youngberg, and announced that they were starting a rock group called The Messengers. In 2 weeks, they were earning $17 an hour as enthusiastic musicians. The YMCA had space on weekend nights and needed funds. Mark worked out an agreement with the YMCA to use their space for, quote, sock hops, and split the proceeds. Mark took out an advertisement in the Waukegan, Illinois Township High School paper and said that the Messengers were performing a charity event on Saturday night for $5 a person. They had 1,000 attendees and raised over $2,500 for the YMCA that night. They duplicated this phenomenon successfully at other Ys. They were happy, and the Y was happy. Here's another puzzle with a bunch of letters for number 99, and lots of lines, like 4 lines of letters. You can try to figure out what they're getting at here if you want, on puzzle number 99 on page 268. We believe there are thousands of potential niches, however you want to say it, like these, that desperately need your ability to create new opportunities. Every time you see a PBS fundraiser with Suze Orman or Wayne Dyer, realize that these events are carefully orchestrated to raise millions of dollars for public broadcasting. It's a model that could work for hundreds of other worthy causes. Deepak Chopra likes to do those too. Deepak Chopra and Wayne Dyer were really good friends when Wayne Dyer was alive. They've done a bunch of those. They've done some of those together. Those are great when they got together. Those are great ones. I've seen a bunch of them. I'm gonna tell a little story here right now. One time when I was visiting my mother in Cleveland, Ohio, she played me this Deepak Chopra PBS thing that she recorded for me. And on there, I learned for the first time, well, Deepak was talking about how when you want to delete a bad habit from your life, the first step is to pause. When you feel it is about to happen, just pause. And every time you pause, every time you do that, you can still go through with it. Go ahead and eat the cheeseburger or whatever it is. Go ahead and get angry, whatever it is. Every time you do it though, pause. Just pause before, because when you just add that little pause, it loosens the knot a little bit more. And that knot can be really tight. If you've been pulling on it for 40 years, that knot can be very tight. And it may take a lot of pauses to get it loose. Eventually though, if you just pause before you do that bad habit every time, that knot will come out. So thank you, Mom, for introducing that great concept to me from Wayne Dyer. I mean, not Wayne Dyer, from Deepak Chopra. Thank you, Mom. Thank you for everything. Thank you for showing me how not to be. Thank you for showing me how to be. Thank you for everything you've done for me. Back to the book. As soon as I figure out where I am in this book, I'm going to take a little drink on that. Thank you, Mom. This is water, okay? It's just water. It's good water. Filtered water. And I painted on this bottle, I am that. That. All that I want to be. All I'm here to be. Where was I? Thousands of potential niches. PBS, Orman, okay, PBS. Public broadcasting is a model that could work for hundreds of worthy causes. Okay, whatever. I'll start out right here. Every time you see a PBS fundraiser with Suze Orman or Wayne Dyer or Deepak Chopra or whoever's doing it now realize that these events are carefully orchestrated to raise millions of dollars for public broadcasting. It's a model that could work for hundreds of other worthy causes. Next centered green font, Model 4, sell your other talents. Stephen King is a king of horror. Dave Barry is the best-selling humor author alive in 2005 when this book was published. Amy Tan writes elegant fiction bestsellers. These great writers and many others put together a band called Rock Bottom Remainders. They raise $1 million every year for literacy. And they switch some of the band members in and out so they can keep playing. Wouldn't it be fun to go see the world's best-selling authors playing music, having fun together, and wowing audiences, all for charity? Talented people often have more fun. Talented people often have more than one talent and are willing to share it generously for charitable purposes. And yes, that mistake that I just made was accurate. Talented people often have more fun. Why do you think they got there? Because they're having more fun. That's the reason why they got it. They're having more fun. Talented people often have more than one talent and are willing to share it generously for charitable purposes. Rock Bottom Remainders. Are they still doing stuff 20 years later? Rock Bottom Remainders. Never heard of them myself. Next, centered green font. Model 5. Pick a different charity for every one of your products. Chicken Soup books. Pick a different charity for each of our books. The Campbell Soup Company consented to have 3 chicken soup stories put on the inside label of 400 million cans of soup, along with request that people bring in 1 can of non-perishable food to their local bookstore on May 17. If they did, the post office would pick it up free and take it to a local distribution center where Campbell's generously doubled the gifts. The cans then went to people in need through the good work of the Union Rescue Missions, abuse centers, and Second Harvest, so that 15 million people got fed. That's a good story. Next, centered green font. Model 6. Turn one of your hobbies into a philanthropic cash cow. Dick Marconi, whose story is on page 226. I'm on page 269 right now, so look back like like 5 readings or 4 or 5 readings to figure it out, I guess. I don't know. Dick Marconi, whose story is on page 226, has had a lifelong interest in car racing. He built the Marconi Auto Museum in Tustin, California, and filled it with magnificent antique cars and amazing automobiles. He and his wife, Bo, have fundraising events there. Because the museum is debt-free, all ticket sales go directly to charity. His museum will continue to do this after he's gone, because it has been established in perpetuity. It makes reading a little difficult when big words with lots of vowels get split. How do you pronounce this word? P-E-R-P-E-T. Well, I'm just gonna have to look it up right now. Perpetuity. Perpetuity. Perpetuity definition. Okay. No, I don't want to do the Gemini newest. Will you just tell me the definition of the word perpetuity, please? I don't know what's going on. Okay. Let me try again. Back. Perpetuity definition. Go. It's not doing it. I don't understand. Why isn't it? Let me try typing it in. P-E-R-P-E meaning. Okay, you're going to tell me it? Oh, there it is. Thank you.
Perpetuity. Perpetuity.
Do you know what perpetuity means?
Perpetuity.
What do you think perpetuity means? Perpetuity is 1. A bond or other security with no fixed maturity date. 2. A restriction making an estate inalienable perpetually or for a period beyond certain limits fixed by law. Is there an L? No. Okay. It just says, yeah. Okay. 3. The state or quality of lasting forever. He did not believe in the perpetuity of military rule. Screenshot. Here's a picture. It's a circle, and there's a whole bunch of words in the circle coming out of a spot in like the upper leftish, kind of more in the middle center area of the big circle, which is kind of shaded on the edges, which makes it look a little 3D. And I'm gonna read the words that are coming out of it. Millionaire thoughts, millionaire dollar idea, millionaire dollar team, customer pool, $1 million PSP, residual philanthropy, discover, attract, form, create, establish, distribute. This is a pretty good one. I'm going to take a picture of it, and then I'm going to post it on the Facebook page. I'm going to post it. I'm going to take a picture of it and post it. And then underneath it, it says number 100. That's, I guess you're supposed to write down everything in these blanks provided. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines of blanks provided for this picture. Now I'm going to read the quotes around the margins of these 2 pages. Infinite possibilities exist to create the previously uncreatable. Think the unthinkable. Infinite possibilities possibilities exist to create the previously uncreatable. Think the unthinkable and do the undoable. It's an extraordinary time to be alive, said Mark Victor Hansen. Trust that same force that calls the sun to rise each morning flows. Maybe you want to put a "the" in there. It feels like the sentence would flow better with a "the" in there. So I'm going to read it with a "the" in there. Trust that the same force that calls the sun to rise each morning flows through you to make your dreams come true, said Sue Shanahan. Sue Shanahan. Immer mit der Ruhe. Calm down. IMMERMITDERRUHE. Calm down. German expression. Calmate. 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 I have it tattooed on my arm. Calmate. In blue, or it's a light blue, greenish blue, outlined in purple, and then outlined in black, and going up my arm like a line chart. It's going up. When you're calm, you rise. And you want to live your life in peaceful, proactive. You want to live your life being both peaceful and proactive. Next quote. You make the decision with vision, and God makes the provision. Mark Victor Hansen. Do you know what provision means? Provision is like the stuff that you need. Isn't that what it is? Provision, like stuff that you need. Provision, definition. Oh, see that. What? Supply, yeah. Provisions. I'm bringing the provisions. Provision, the action of providing or supplying something for use. Okay? And 2, an amount or thing supplied or provided. If you go out for revenge, you'd better dig 2 graves, said Yiddish proverb. Next green centered Next green font. Next word. Here's the next words that are in green font and centered. Model 7. If he can do it, anyone can do it. How about if you say instead, if they can do it, anyone can do it? Wouldn't that be better? I think it would. Del Smith, owner and founder of Evergreen Aviation International in McMinnville, Oregon, runs the Children's Free Enterprise Fund, which lends money to any American kid under 19 years old, not for college, but to help them launch their own enterprises. I like it. When Del was an infant, he was orphaned. His grandma took him in and inspired Del to become an entrepreneur. When he was 11, he went to the bank to borrow $2.50 to buy a lawnmower, and then went across the street to another bank and borrowed $2.50 more. When he first told Mark this story, Del said, quote, "You know, that couldn't happen today. Children can't borrow money from banks anymore." Mark said to Del, "Why don't we start a bank for kids?" What happened then was truly inspiring. Mark describes it this way. This is inserted and italicized, so, okay. I was talking, and this is Mark talking. Okay, Mark describes it this way. I was talking in Orange County when a child came up to me. He said, Mark, I want to borrow money from your kid's bank. I'm 6 years old. My name is Tommy Tighe. Tighe, however you say that. Tighe. Probably Ty, I guess. I said, "Great, Tommy. I want to lend it to you. What do you want to do with it?" He said, "I want to create a bumper sticker that says, 'Peace, please. Do it for us kids. Signed, Tommy.'" This is in boldface. The first letter is all capitalized except for 4. "Peace, please. Period. Do it for us kids. Signed, Tommy." I asked him for his 10-point business plan, and he said, 1. Meet Mark Victor Hansen. 2. Hit him up for a loan. 3. Offer baseball cards as collateral. 4. Sell 1 million bumper stickers. Tommy's dad drove over to my office and whispered in my ear, "If my son doesn't pay you back, are you going to foreclose on his bicycle?" I said, "Mr. Tighe, every kid's born honest, ethical, and moral. They have got to be taught to be crooked and go sideways. I don't think we have to worry about Tommy. Kids all pay back with interest." Tommy got inspired listening to my tapes and had his dad drive him up to former President Ronald Reagan's home. Just after the president had left the White House, Tommy rang the doorbell and sold a bumper sticker to the gatekeeper for $1.50. The gatekeeper said, "Hold on, kid. Let me get the president." Ronnie came out, shook his hand, and said, "I understand." Oh, I got to try Ronald Reagan. "I understand you're causing peace in the world." Tommy said, "That'll be $1.50, Mr. President." I asked Tommy, Why did you ask him to buy? Tommy said, you said to ask everybody to buy. You said to ask everybody to buy. Tommy also sent one unsolicited to President Mikhail Gorbachev with a bill for $1.50. Gorbachev sent him back $1.50 and a signed autographed picture that said, "Go for peace, Tommy." I said, "Tommy, I collect autographs. I'll give you $500 cash for that." Tommy said, "No thanks, Mark." I said, "You're the best little salesman I've ever met. When you're older, I want to hire you." Tommy said, "When I'm older, I'm hiring you." What a great kid. We believe that every reader can become rich and also create residual philanthropies. There's a flood of opportunity from which philanthropy can emerge at levels that no one has ever considered before. The rest of the world can play their favorite game, quote, take and take, or, quote, give and take. For us, quote, give and give is the fastest formula to enrichment. There's a bunch of lines here that are centered and italicized, or like they're inserted and italicized. It looks like a poem. Oh, the poem's called Give. Said the little stream. The poem's called Give, Said the Little Stream, by Fanny J. Crosby and William B. Bradbury. William B. Bradbury. Give, said the little stream. Give, oh, give. Give, oh, give. Give, said the little stream, as it hurried down the hill. I'm small, but I know that wherever I go, the grass grows greener still. Singing, singing all the day. Give away, oh, give away. Singing, singing all the day. Give, oh, give away. Here's some quotes around this page. Be strong and of a good courage. Fear not, nor be afraid. For the Lord thy God, He, nay, is that a nay? Yeah. Okay, let me try again. I think it says nay, N-E. Nay, it is trust. Doth go. Let's try again. Be strong and of a good courage. Fear not, nor be afraid. For the Lord thy God, nay, it is that doth go with thee. Nay, will not fall. Is it nay or he? It looks like N-E. Nay, will not fall thee, nor forsake thee. Deuteronomy 31:6. Be strong and of good courage. Fear not, nor be afraid. Our source is what goes with you and will not fail you. or forsake you. Be strong and of good courage. Fear not. Do not be afraid. Our source of creation is with you and will not fail you or forsake you. As a rule, adversity reveals. It says reveals, okay? As a rule, adversity reveals genius and prosperity hides it. Chorus. As a rule, adversity reveals genius and prosperity hides it. Horace. This looks like another, okay, chapter 12, money. This looks like another good picture here. It's like a bullseye with like the middle of the bullseye is kind of like coming out at you. Higher power. It says at the top. It's actually no. It's not a bullseye. It's a combination. That's what it is. It's the thing that you turn to open up a safe. To put in the combination to open up a safe. That's what it is. At the top it says higher power. This arrow is pointing up to the top. It kind of looks like a bullseye too. Underneath it says the star code, the prism code, the angel code, the destiny code. So I think what I'm going to do after this post is I'm going to make a little reel with these pictures in it. And I'll put a little bit of music in there too, just for fun. Inspiring music. Ooh, Eckhart Tolle. I love Eckhart Tolle. The Power of Now. That's a great book. The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. Eckhart Tolle begins his wonderful book, The Power of Now, with a story. We feel this story is an excellent way to end our conversation together. Insert. A beggar had been sitting by the side of the road for over 30 years. One day, a stranger walked by. "Spare me some change," mumbled the beggar, mechanically holding out his old baseball cap. "I have nothing to give you," said the stranger. Then he asked, "What's that you're sitting on?" "Nothing," replied the beggar. "Just an old box. I've been sitting on it for as long as I can remember." "Ever looked inside?" asked the stranger. "No," said the beggar. "What's the point? There's nothing in there." "Have a look inside," insisted the stranger. The beggar managed to pry open the lid. With astonishment, disbelief, and elation, he saw that the box was filled with gold. Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now. I heard someone pronounce his name Toll one time. The first time I heard someone pronounce his name was Toll, so I thought that's how you said it, Tolle. So I was saying it like that for a while, and then I saw an interview with him, and when they introduced him, they said Tolle. So I'm pretty sure that in that case, they're saying it the right way. So I think it's pronounced Tolle, Eckhart Tolle. Here's the quotes around the margins of these two pages. It's good. It says it is. Okay. It's good to pray. It says but. It's good to pray, and it's better to become the prayer. Blair Lewis. It's good to pray, and it's good to become, no, better. It's good to pray, and it's better to become the prayer. Be the good you want to see in the world. Gandhi. It is good to pray, but it is better to become the prayer. Blair Lewis. It's good to pray, and it's better to become the prayer. Johnny Troth. Because I changed it is to it's and but to and. Now it's my own quote. How about that? It's good to pray, and it's better to become the prayer. May you live long enough to have friends in high places, said Peggy Fugel. Life gives to the giver and takes from the taker. Mark Victor Hansen. When you shut down the giving, you shut down the receiving. Mark Victor Hansen. This starts out with men's nature. And I'm just going to go ahead and change it right now to the nature of people Okay, I'm going to read the quote exactly what it says. Men's natures are alike. It's their habits that carry them far apart. Confucius. All people were originally called men. The word for people was originally man. And then they changed, and then they added, because women have a womb, they're like womb with man. Next quote. If A equals success, then the formula is A equals X plus Y plus Z. X is work. Y, I'm gonna change work to courage, okay? And you have to enjoy what you're doing for it to work. It has to be part of your burning desire. You have to feel that you love doing it for it to work. So you do what you need to do to make it work. You have to feel, you have to love it. You have to love doing it in your heart, okay? And courage is part of that. Wow. All right, back to the quote. If A equals success, then the formula is A equals X plus Y plus Z. X is work. Y is play. Z is keep your mouth shut. Albert Einstein. Okay. The story, he pried open the box, and there was gold inside. He didn't know he was sitting on gold this whole time. He was sitting on a box filled with gold. All he had to do was look inside the box to get the gold. The beggar, all the beggar had to do was look inside the box that he was sitting on to get the gold. The, quote, box of gold that each of us is, quote, sitting on, is part of the message of this book. And there's much, much more. We've shown you a system for tapping into your own vast personal wealth vault, filled with prosperity, happiness, joy, and fulfillment. We've shared with you how to launch enlightened enterprises, capitalized with capital E's, enlightened enterprises with enlightened products. And the P in products is in a different font, so apparently they're introducing another puzzle to decipher here where you write that letter in something or whatever. We've shared with you how to launch, capitalize, enlightened enterprises with enlightened products destined to improve the lives of enlightened customers and thereby your own. We began our journey together at the beginning of this book with the image of two, quote, prosperous looking gentlemen, that's us, standing at your front door announcing your selection to participate in the Ultimate Reality TV show, the one called Life with a capital L. The prize, as always, is unlimited access to all this world has to offer. The annals of history, the annals of history prove beyond question. I'm not going to say the letters that are in different fonts. There's like E and beyond in a different. I'm not going to say them though anymore. Okay. The annals of history prove beyond question that millions of people have cracked the code and opened their personal wealth vaults. If they can do it, why not you? The fact that you have read this far, that you have completed this book, is the first proof that you have what it takes to succeed. So few people have the discipline to read a book from cover to cover. Kudos to you. Now comes the next phase of your journey. To apply the lessons you've learned, despite the challenges life throws you. Do you have what it takes to apply these lessons? Will you set this book on a shelf and say, quote, someday maybe I'll do something about this? Or will you say to yourself, my someday is now? Now, all in capital letters. My someday is now. The time is now. The time is now. Which voice will you listen to? Will you listen to your, quote, inner critic as it tries to talk you out of your dreams? Quote, you don't have enough money or brains or connections. You can't do it. Or will you listen to your, quote, inner knower with a capital I and a capital K, your inner knower, as it whispers to you, your destiny awaits. You can do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. The voice you heed today will determine what you'll be saying to yourself in 5 years from now. I'm sorry, I didn't take action sooner. Or, thank heaven I did. All capitalized letters centered in a green font saying, which will it be? Let's look into your crystal ball. Is where I'll begin the next reading and the final reading on page 277. Remember to be determined, persistent, excited, joyful, flexible, and inspired. When you're living your life in these divine ways. You're getting help from our higher power. Live life right. Living life right. Enjoy life. All of it. Live life in joy. And know that everything happens for a reason. Know that you are good enough to be whatever you want to be. And know that you are being what you're here to be every day of your life. More than believe. Cracking the Millionaire Code. More than believe. No. 26. More than believe. No. Residual philanthropy. Continue. Giving your way to wealth.